In this episode of House of the Dragon, delivered intense political drama and a shocking duel that has everyone talking. From the brutal betrayal to the heart-wrenching decisions of two brothers, this episode is a must-see. Stay tuned as we dive deep into the thrilling twists and turns of Season 2, Episode 2. But before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified about all our latest videos on House of the Dragon and more intriguing facts. Following the formula set up in last week's Season 2 premiere, House of the Dragon brings us another episode filled with intricate politicking and setup, culminating in an explosive finale. This week's climactic scene, while still violent, was a lot more bearable than last week's traumatizing child murder. Watching two knights in a fierce duel is preferable to the grisly blood and cheese scene any day. Let's start with the end, as it's undoubtedly the moment everyone will be discussing after the episode airs on HBO and Max. The duel between Arryk and Erryk Cargyll was shockingly effective, thanks in large part to the impeccable casting of these real-life twin knights. Both Cargyll brothers were sworn Kingsguard knights under King Viserys I. However, when the Hightowers orchestrated their coup at the end of last season, the brothers chose different sides. Disillusioned by Prince Aegon's depravity, Arryk attempted to persuade his brother, Arryk, to support Rhaenyra. Arryk, bound by his oath, refused to betray his prince despite his brother's compelling arguments. Arryk, fed up with Aegon's immoral actions, fled King's Landing and pledged his loyalty to Rhaenyra, joining her Queen's Guard at Dragonstone. Meanwhile, Arryk remained, but as we see in tonight's episode, his loyalty placed him under the oppressive rule of the petty Lord Commander, Sir Criston Cole. Cole, seething with anger over the murder of the young Prince Jaehaerys under his watch, finds a scapegoat in Arryk when he notices his muddy white cloak, a result of guarding Queen Dowager Alicent and Queen Helena during their somber procession through the city. Arryk becomes the target of Cole's wrath, leading to the fateful clash between the brothers. Not only does Cole order Arryk to tend to his cloak before eating, but he also devises a mission for him on the spot. Arryk is to infiltrate Dragonstone, pretending to be his twin brother, and assassinate Rhaenyra. Though Arryk balks at this, asserting that he is a knight, not an assassin, Cole is unyielding and sends him on this suicide mission without consulting Aegon or Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King. Arryk's infiltration is almost exposed by Mysaria, the White Worm, who has just been in the castle with his brother and the Queen. While she seems to recognize him, she does not sound the alarm, possibly doing so off-screen, which explains why help arrives just in time. Arryk makes his way to Rhaenyra's bedchamber, relieving the knight on duty, and enters her room, drawing his sword. Just then, Arryk bursts into the room, leading to one of the best combat scenes the show has offered. The intensity and choreography make it nearly impossible to distinguish the brothers as they fight. This confusion adds a level of tension, with Rhaenyra's Queen's Guard exclaiming they can't tell who is who. In the end, both brothers kill each other, with the last standing man turning to Rhaenyra and asking for forgiveness before falling on his own sword. The identity of the last brother standing, whether it was Arryk protecting Rhaenyra or Arryk grieving his brother, is left ambiguous, underscoring the tragic nature of their conflict. Elsewhere in the episode, we witness a public display of grief orchestrated by Otto Hightower. He parades the prince's body through the streets to garner sympathy and incite anger towards Rhaenyra, whom he blames for the assassination. This plan nearly succeeds until Aegon orders the hanging of all ratcatchers outside the Red Keep, including Cheese, further complicating the political landscape. Otto is furious, but he takes it too far, berating the young king until Aegon has had enough. "You were my father's hand, not mine," he says. Larys Strong, the clubfoot, is about to become even more powerful, it seems. Otto leaves for Hightower, dismayed at his grandson's, completely unsurprising, rashness. This is the bed that Otto himself made. He has only himself to blame. In Dragonstone, Rhaenyra is furious with her uncle-husband Daemon over the role he played in the prince's death, though he denies telling Blood and Cheese that any son will do. Daemon is a liar, however, so we don't know what he actually said. They argue, and he leaves for Harrenhal to raise armies and prepare for war. Outside the courts of power, we get several scenes with Alyn of Hull and his brother Adamm. We also see the dire straits that the blacksmith Hugh Hammer finds himself in, with no money and a sickly daughter. At this point, we're just getting to know these characters. The reason we're getting to know them isn't clear, and while I know it, having read the book, I'm not going to spoil it here. They are important characters. You'll find out why soon enough. All told, this was another somewhat slow episode, but that doesn't really bother me. I've accepted that House of the Dragon is simply a very different beast than Game of Thrones. We're still in the lead up to war, and I suspect that once we get there and all the battles on Sky and on the land break out, things will get a lot bloodier and crazier. I think the one complaint that I share with some viewers is that I have a hard time caring much about the characters. There are very few that really make you want to root for them, like the Stark kids did, or Brienne, or later Jaime Lannister, or Tyrion, or Jon Snow, or Daenerys mostly, or the Hound and so forth. Thrones is filled with rich characters that Martin fleshed out and gave shape to in his books. Fire and Blood's characters are just people in a history book, and the HBO adaptation, while it does certainly give them a lot more to do and a lot more depth, doesn't really make us fall in love with any of them. Rhaenyra and her son Jace perhaps, and Daemon's girls. We root for Daemon because he's attractive and dangerous, but he's a bad man at his core. Viserys was a good king, but a weak one. Alicent is relatable but not really likable. There isn't much comic relief, that's for sure. Nobody spouts bangers like I drink and I know things. This episode of House of the Dragon masterfully intertwines deep political intrigue with personal conflict, setting the stage for more dramatic confrontations to come. What are your thoughts on the brothers' tragic duel? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this recap and review, don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. For more deep dives into your favorite shows, hit that subscribe button and join the Intriguing Facts community. Until next time, keep exploring the fascinating world of Westeros.